Hello, my name is Chanel, this is Spirited Stardust, and today I'm doing the Tarot in Wonderland as a VR to Eries Witchcraft. I saw this on Amethyst Ascension and I thought it sounded like fun, so yeah, let's get to it. So the first prompt is, what deck sent you down the rabbit hole? And for me, that would be the Archana of Astrology. So those are the backs. And the reason for that, these are probably not in order, so apologies, is because it sent me down the rabbit hole of researching astrology. I'd always been sort of familiar with, my sun, moon and rising, but that's about it. But then after using this deck, I got into learning all about the different houses, the different planets, the moon phases, like all of it. And it's just, I'm so interested in astrology now. I found it so fascinating, so applicable. I know some people don't believe in it, but I thought my natal chart was very telling. And I thought, how much of my personality is actually me by choice and how much is sort of predestined by when I'm born, when the heavenly bodies were at the time I entered this world. So yeah, this set me off on a path of learning all about astrology. And whenever I get interested in something, I go deep, I go hard, I become obsessed, to be honest. And I literally just spend hours and hours and hours and hours every day just reading and learning all about it. There was even something about a world map, like showing which areas of the world correlated with which planets for you personally based on your natal charts, where you'd be happiest, where you do the most transformation. Dude, like with astrology, I feel like it's a never-ending pit. I don't think it ever ends. Like you can just keep going and going and going, falling forever down that rabbit hole. So that's the Arcana of Astrology, and that sent me down the astrology a rabbit hole, which I have still not come back out of. What deck makes you smile like a Cheshire Cat? For me, that's literally get your deck out, which has a cat on the front. So how serendipitous is that? This always makes me smile. One, it's bright colors. Okay, so anything that's bright and cheerful and vibrant makes me smile. Two, it's full of cute animals, so extra grins. And then three, it's the messages. I love them. Sometimes they're pretty tame, and then sometimes they are super, super cheeky. And I like there's messages also on the back, the snail of suffering. I just want to curl up. It's okay to feel like shit. Don't be a dick, you're not a burden. I love I should have been flipping them over like this. Yeah, so it's got cursing. Cursing makes me laugh when it's said in a funny way. I don't mind it because I sometimes curse when I'm making jokes. You make me unicorny, guys. It's like, some people might think it's lame, but I find it funny. I think it cheers me up. I skated away from the bullshit and lived happily ever after the end, yes. So the kindred of emotions. Yeah, every time I need a bit of a giggle and a pick me up, I'm a fucked up cocoon of mush. Yep, that awkward stage. So I just use this. Oh look, here comes the head fuck hamster with his bag of intrusive thoughts. Yeah, what an asshole. So it makes me laugh. I like humorous decks, but like I said, this is the triple whammy that it's colorful. It is I haven't edged it. I think I should edge it. It's colorful, it's got beautiful little animals on it. It's small sized, it's a square, so for many reasons it just makes me smile and grin. Okay, next up, what is your favorite Tweedledee Tweedledum decks, matching tarot and oracle? Okay, so I don't have like a deck that is by the same author, so I'm just trying to find ones that have a similar aesthetic. So I'm going with the Ethereal Alchemist here. There she is. And I'm matching it with the Rose Oracle here because I feel like, okay, already they've got that similar photo collage style. They've got the sort of pastel muted color schemes. They have a very feminine yin vibe to them. It's pretty much the same card stock as well. It's that thick satin finish. They've got that same rose theme throughout it. Yeah, they just seem very similar to me, and that's why I've picked these two decks. I think, you know, they do sort of vibe with each other. So yeah, that's those two. I love it when you do this on a side. You're just like, does that go? I don't know. Does that go? I don't know. I'll leave it on that card because I love the Sophia card. So yeah, so that's the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell, and the Ethereal Alchemist by, I think it's, I want to say Valentina? What's her name? Valentina Maudis. My father's Greek and yet I cannot pronounce that surname. Okay, so which is your Red Queen deck, the deck that became your nemesis after buying it? Okay, guys, it's this one. So I'll take it out so you flip through. So it's I don't like the backs. I don't like the cardstock. It is just so flimsy. It's my most expensive deck. I think that's why I'm extra bitter, because I paid a lot of money for it and I just don't connect with it. I just can't read with it. The guidebook is not great, I'm going to say it. So it's not like I get anything out of the guidebook either. And yeah, I don't vibe with the deck. So I'm going to have to rehome it. And that's why it's my nemesis, because I literally bought it. Oh, nudity warning, guys. By the way, heads up. Sorry. Yeah, it's just not for me. So that was like a regret purchase. Like, oh, I made a mistake with this one. I made a mistake. I don't like it on any level. So that was the Abyssal Tower. Some people love it though, you know what I mean? Like everyone has their own thing, what floats their boats. You're my Drink Me deck, the smallest cards I've got. Okay, so that would be these little babies in here. Come out, little boys. They're so teeny tiny, they're so cute. This is a sparkly Lenormand, whatever you want to call it, by Kimberly M. San. This is not only small, it's adorable, it's cutesy wootsy. And yeah, I love little decks, dude. I love them so much, because my hands can just cope so much better. They take up less space. I don't have to crochet as big a bag for it. So I adore small decks. I wish more decks came in pocket size. I don't see why not. I think it's a great option. If there's always pocket size versions of a deck, I tend to go for it unless they've put it in a different cardstock that I don't like. I find that they do that sometimes. For the pocket decks, they'll do a different cardstock from the main deck, and it's not always one I like, but pocket decks for the win. Next up, your Eat Me deck, your biggest cards. All right, let's bust them out. Here's the big boys. This is the begin, and it's the same size as my hand, as you can see. So I like literally have to stretch. It hurts. I have to stretch my hand further than I would like to, just to be able to hold them. So that sucks balls. I'm just gonna say it. I love, like I said, otherwise I love this deck. That's the only gripe I have about this deck. The only thing I don't like is the size. And it's not just the deck, as you'll know, it's the guidebook, which is bigger than A4. It's bigger than A4 guidebook with oversized print. So everything about this is just mega. And oh my God, I would have adored this as a pocket. I really would. I know people might say that they like bigger decks because you can really look at the artwork a bit more. And I understand, like if you're someone that sets up altars and you want to like put a card up, I can understand why bigger would be better. But not for me. Bigger doesn't necessarily mean better. Okay, so you're late to a very important date. What deck gave you FOMO anxiety before you got your hands on it? So of course it's always going to be independent decks, because you worry, are they going to stop printing them? And for me, so the one that I went out and bought immediately is the True Black. As soon as I saw it, I thought I have to have it. I better get it before they stop printing it. It's just I love it. I love everything about it. I love the artwork on it. I think it's stunning. I love the rose petal finish. It's the good one. It's one of the ones that you can still shuffle it, but it's got that beautiful, luxurious feel to it. Even though it's a sort of pip deck, I will admit it is a little pippy, but it's not too pippy. Like, it's still got some interest in it. The guidebook's great. You learn a lot of things. They include like a lot of information about why they've chosen the particular artwork, so it's very thoughtful and planned out. Someone said on their YouTube, I forget who it was now though, that to them this is like an angel deck because of the beam of light. It has that sort of angelic vibe to it, and now I can't not see it. I'm like, oh yeah, it does feel a bit angelic, doesn't it? Oh my God, well, there we go. That's the angel, as we all know, Temperance. I adore it, and I thought I would kick myself if it went out of print and I didn't get to own it. So this is the only deck that I would probably consider getting a second backup of. I will never do that normally, but I'd be like, well, should I not? But I think it's something down the road, once I've like sort of felt like I've completed my collection, that I might consider doing, just because I freaking love this deck so much. And because of that though, I am a bit precious with it. I will admit I don't use it a lot. I just don't want to wreck it. I don't want to wreck it, Ralph. Okay, so that was my FOMO deck. White Queen deck, colourful and light-hearted. Where did I put that? Oh, here it is, it's up here. Okay, so this one is just very colourful and light-hearted to me, and it's Oracle of Light and Dreams. It's just got this very sweet, gentle, magical, ethereal, whimsical vibe to it. It just reminds me of spring, and it's got animals. Oh, I love this one. I love it. I'm an absolute fan of Catwoman, especially Michelle Pfeiffer's. Just any day of the week, give me some Michelle Pfeiffer in latex, and I'm a happy woman. So yeah, this is my, you know, oops, oh, no. My computer's just gone off and I need to see the questions. This is my White Queen deck for sure, because it features like women, so they've got that queen vibe to me. Oh, I have a little koala. And I would definitely imagine any of these women as a white queen. They just fit the stereotype, so to speak. Oh, yes, nice. So it's not all, but yeah, well, they're a queen too, man. Like, you don't have to be female to be a queen, but they all have a queen vibe. So all love and light, and that's how I feel about this deck. So that was the Oracle of Light and Dreams, even its name, Light and Dreams. The next one is show me a deck with artwork as mad as a hatter, and I've forgotten it. Let me go grab it. Okay, I'm back. So we've got what is it again? Show me a deck with artwork as mad as a hatter. So I don't know, this kind of, so those are the backs. This kind of gives me just Mad Hatter, sort of Alice in Wonderland vibes. I think it's this, like the flowers, it's the very like sort of vibrant colors, the animals, the collage style, the sort of whimsical, dreamlike, you know, moons with faces on them. sort of vibe. It's got that quirky, look at her hat. Look at that absolutely amazing top hat. So even the parrot's wearing a top hat, bro. And look, there's a watch in the corner. So yeah, this is very Alice in Wonderland, Mad Hatter Tea Party vibes to me. So I probably would also, there's another question later on, would you bring this to a tea party? Yes, this is a tea party deck, but I'll pick something else just so we can have a bit of more views of some different decks. But I think this definitely fits that. Which deck? You know, Mad as a Hatter with the over the top artwork. But I love it. So that is the Rose Oracle of the Rose, sorry. Oracle of the Rose. I'll put links, walkthroughs down the bottom so you can see them all. Okay, the next one is, what deck would you take to a tea party? Okay, so for that one, I'll do this. So if I'm going to take something to a tea party, I want something mini that's very easy to take with me. So this is the fairy, I think it's fairy magic messages, fairy message magic. I'll put it down. You'll see it down below. I love this one because you don't need to have a guidebook. The messages are on the back. It's got that, like, fairies and tea parties go hand in hand to me, especially because most of the time tea parties are outside. You know, they've got the in the garden vibe, drinking tea, maybe there's, you know, a little fairy ring nearby, some sweet little cakes, and this just epitomizes that energy for me going to a tea party. So I think this is something, it's also like not too confronting, so it's very palatable for everybody besides that one picture. But yeah, I think it's a fun, sweet little magical deck, perfect for a tea party, and that's why I would bring this one. Next question is, what's your Jabberwocky deck? This deck is dark and mysterious. Well, that would be magic and mediums for me. Let me just get it out of here. That's because it definitely has occult themes, so much so that I even did pull some cards from the deck that I felt were a bit too dark for me, veering into areas that I had absolutely no desire to delve into, or energies that I did not want to work with whatsoever. So I pulled those from the deck, but this is definitely a darker, mysterious deck. Even the color palette, it's a bit more taboo with its topics and its imagery. So yeah, this is definitely not a deck for everyone, but like, even like I said, for me, I did have to pull some cards from it because I'm like, I don't want to use those, so I don't want them in there. But there's some, like, still beautiful. It's not all dark, obviously. There is still light. It's not all shadow, but it's definitely my Jabberwocky deck. Magic and mediums. Okay, so next up, we've got, show me your Alice deck, either an actual Alice in Wonderland deck or a deck that always takes you on a journey when you read with it. So I don't have any Alice decks, even though, look, I love Alice in Wonderland. I even have Alice in Wonderland statues in my garden. I've got all the books. I adore Alice in Wonderland, but I don't have any of those themed decks. I just haven't found the right one, I would say. There's always something wrong with each of the Alice decks I've looked at. So I've chosen Return of Spirit because it's sort of, it takes you on a journey. So it's like fractal art, which in and of itself is, you know, something that can take you on a journey, just with the imagery. But also the write-ups in the guidebook are very different to anything else I have. They're more about like a soul's journey. So it's that sort of like, you know, 5D sort of vibe with it, not just of the physical realm world, a bit more spiritual, a bit more trans-dimensional, and that's why I picked it as my Alice deck. It's also a bit trippy. I think we all know it was, I think the author was, you know, under the influence of LSD, I think, when they wrote some of Alice in Wonderland, and you definitely get that vibe from it. But yeah, that is my Alice deck. So that's everything. This was a real fun one to do. I've had a blast. I hope you're having a whimsical morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are, and as always, stay wild, star child.